I'm Kristen Denny-Chambers, clarinetist, composer, and founder of Clarinet Playground. This is video number 38 out of 40, going through all of the etudes in Finger Fitness Études Book 2. This one is for Big City Life. Big City Life is dedicated to Danny Darrough. He's currently a retired band director of 26 years. He has his bachelor's in music education and a master's in music. National Board Certified, Band Director of the Year twice, and Teacher of the Year 3 times. I met Danny in, I believe it was 2003, when I started teaching with him at Alma Middle School in Arkansas. We had a terrific time together and we were instant friends. It was just like this instant connection and we had so much fun together. Danny is an excellent teacher and I feel very lucky to have worked with him for a couple of years. Danny was equally proficient on clarinet and baritone of all things, but we had a lot of fun playing clarinet duets together, and he helped me learn to play the baritone, and I was able to teach some of the low brass sections. Since retiring from being a band director, Danny got into real estate and really enjoyed that, but most recently he has become a flight attendant and has been traveling all over the world and just enjoying that so much. When I wrote Big City Life, I was thinking about Danny and his fast-paced life. You just never know whether he's coming or going or where he's going to end up next. Let's take a look at the music. At the bottom of the page, you'll find one or two practice tips. For this one, we have the accents are crucial for the style to come through. Play softer on the unaccented notes to help bring out the accents. At the top of the page, you'll find 2 finger drills. These, of course, are so critical to practice because that is what's folded right into the music. So we are continuing connecting registers with our finger drills so the right hand down can still be used, along with the pinky when you go A to D sharp. So on the first drill, A to D sharp, the right hand fingers can be down, plus the D sharp or E flat pinky, however you want to think about it. And then we go back and forth, A, D sharp, A, D sharp. So I would keep that right hand down along with the pinky. And then when we play from A to E, very similarly, you can have 1 and 2 of the right hand down while you go back and forth between A and E. I also like to start on the upper note first and make sure my air is really up and running, and I'll have a better connection if I do that. So I'll play the upper note nice and solid and then go through the drill. For the style and character of this etude, we have fast-paced, bustling with energy, and feel it in 2. I think of New York City and a Broadway overtures. That was kind of the inspiration for this etude. So we want it to really move along and have lots of good accents and good character to it. So in measure 5, notice I am not starting at the very beginning, but measure 5 is where the main tune comes in. So I'll play a bit of that so you get an idea of the style. The playfully sections are a little bit lighter, so you can play with ease and just relax a little bit through there, but the tempo is still going to stay quick. For the rhythm, we have a lot of 16th notes. There are some dotted 8th, 16th, 8th notes, quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes, and some ties. So we do want to make sure we're counting very carefully, subdividing very well on dotted 8th, 16th. You can play 3 16th notes for the dotted 8th notes to help you with subdividing. You can also tongue-tied notes while you're learning the piece, and then eventually blow through those ties. So at the beginning, I would count this way. 1 ti te ta 2 te, 3 ti te ta 4 te, 1 ti te ta 2 ta 3 te, ti te ta 1. There are also 2 places that slow into a fermata, so you want to practice pacing that so that you're satisfied with how you reach that fermata. So think about where the fermata is, back up a little bit, and think about pacing to that fermata. Now we'll take a look at some areas for special focus. The beginning is a bear along with the ending. So the intro, the outro, however you want to think of it, they're tricky. And this is where you're going to see the majority of the finger drill activity. Also, notice how the first note of each figure descends, and you can also use right hand down to help you with that. If you focus on the first note of each figure, it can really help you out. So you'll see these red arrows here. We have the E with an arrow, then D sharp, notice that carries through, and then D natural. So we have this descending chromatic pattern within that. And then again in measure 3, it's the same thing, just an octave lower. Now let's take a deeper look at the accents. They are so critical to make this come to life. So one trick is to play a little less on the non-accented notes, and then the accented notes will sound bigger. One common misconception is we think, oh, we've got to really push on those accents, but really you just have to back off on everything else. So I'll start at measure 5 and hopefully bring out those accents. The 16th note lead-ins need to be precise and are followed by articulated downbeats. So measure 9, or the pickup to measure 9, we have these 16th note groups that go into the downbeat, and we want to be ready to articulate and accent that downbeat note. We have a couple that are like the pickup to 9, and we have a couple that are like the pickup to 21. Now let's go over a few places where I feel like there are some finger tangles. These are the places that trip me up even when I go back to review this etude. So if we look at measure 11 and actually compare that to measure 27, they're very similar, but they end differently. But what I do is in measure 11, I actually start with my right hand down. So I've got my right hand plus that D sharp key down, and that really helps to solidify that first figure going up to the high B. And then I just have to take my time and make sure my fingers are really ready for that. In measure 27, it goes down, and you'll notice it goes D, C sharp, B, A, B. So we're having that connection there towards the end, but luckily we do have a crescendo to help with that. I'll play 11 and 27 slowly, and then I'll play them quickly. Pick up to measure 19, we've got the 4/16th note lead in, along with articulating the downbeat, and then some lower 16th notes that connect registers, so there's a lot going on there too. I'll play that one slowly and then quickly. Now I'll look at measure 31. This one is just eighth notes, but looks are deceiving here. I get tripped up here all the time, so I have to really think ahead about it. So the left B sharp, you have to really be ready for that, and then you have the D sharp after it. But just take your time to learn that and anticipate it and be ready for it. Now as we get closer to the ending, we have this really fun but very busy 16th note section that starts in measure 37. So here we suddenly drop down to piano. We're going to do this really long and dramatic crescendo leading up to the fermata. And then of course we're back to the introduction material, which I call the outro, intro, outro. And then we finish out the piece with a little chromatics and then a fun ending. So I'll play these two examples slowly and then quickly. And now for some final thoughts on this etude. Big City Life is fast and rhythmic with tons of accents. It requires precision, but also solid understanding of the style. Think Broadway musicals. When I wrote it, I was imagining a busy New York City street with car horns honking and other big city noises and activities. This one might take a little time, so give yourself some extra time to wrap your fingers around all the notes and to feel settled in the style. Have fun with it. To listen to a beautiful recording of this etude and all other etudes from this book, head over to my website, clarinetplayground.com. Trevor Stewart has recorded all 40 etudes beautifully, and they are available for purchase there on my website. Feel free to join us in the Clarinet Playground group on Facebook where we play and post for each other. And head over to my website at clarinetplayground.com for more fun music and books. Thank you so much.